This is Joseph Antonora for 89.7 KEPC, and for the next hour, we're going to be broadcasting Cormac McCarthy's The Road playlist. This playlist was made by the man for the boy, if he had the opportunity to teach him lessons. So let's just jump into our first song, Wonderful by Everclear on 89.7 KEPC. '89.7 KEPC, that was Wonderful by Everclear. Now, this one made it into the playlist because of a quote the boy said. Quote, "I wish I was with Mom." And then the man said, "You mean you wish you were dead?" "Yes. You mustn't say that." Along with, The lyrics, I close my eyes when I get too sad, and I think thoughts that I know are bad. I feel that music is a way to express your feelings and kind of to cope through trauma, which is, you know, plenty in this book, plenty of trauma to work through in this one. So the man put this in the playlist to remind the boy that he's not the only one that's ever gone through this feeling, that there's other people that have felt this before, so he's not alone in that pain. Next up, we have Creedence Clearwater Revival, Have You Ever Seen the Rain?
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
What you're listening to?
Colorado Springs #1.
You are my #1.
Maximum Variety Station
89.7 KEPC.
.997 KUPC, that was Have You Ever Seen the Rain by Creedence Clearwater Revival. This one made the list simply because it was just a memory the boy and the man shared together. Quote, they watched the gray sheets of rain blow across the valley. It was cold. They sat there, huddled together, wrapped each other in blankets over their coats, and after a while, the rain stopped. End quote. Now, the music lyric that responds to this would be the chorus, I want to know, have you ever seen the rain? You know, pretty simple. But music is a great way to capture the moments you have with your loved ones. And I feel like the man would want just like a little piece of him with the boy in that memory. Along with, there was a quote, everything you put in your head is in there forever, that the man said. So I think that would also kind of fortify that belief. Next up, we have The Old Apartment by Bare Naked Ladies on 89.7 KEPC.
Broke into the old apartment. This is where we used to live. Broken glass, broken hungry, broken hearts and broken bones. This is where we used to live. Why did you paint the walls? Why did you clean the floor? Why did you plaster over the hole I punched in the door? This is where we used to live. Why did you keep the mousetrap? Why did you keep the dish rack? These things used to be mine. I guess they still are. I want them back. Broke into the old apartment, 42 steps from the street. Crooked landing, crooked landlord, narrow laneway filled with crooks. This is where we used to live. Why did they pave the lawn? Why did they change the law? Why did I have to break it? I only came here to talk. But this is where we used to live. How is the neighbor downstairs? How is her temper this year? I turned up your TV and stomped on the floor just for fun. I know we don't live here anymore. We bought an old house on the Danforth. She loves me and her body keeps me warm. And I am happy here. This is where we used to live. Broke into the old apartment, tore the phone out of the wall. Lonely memories, fading memories, blending into total tableau. I want them back. I want them back. This is where we used to live. I want them back. This is where we used to live. I want them back. This is where we used to live. I want them back.
89.7 KEBC, that was The Old Apartment by Bare Naked Ladies. Now this one made the list because of a quote the man said, quote, "Don't you want to see where I used to live? No. It'll be okay." End quote. Now, of course, that doesn't seem like much, but the context here is that the man is bringing his son to the house that he grew up in, and the whole reason they're going back is to look back on the memories they had. Now, the song lyric that corresponds with that was, "Broken memories, faded memories, I want them back." So I feel like both this song and the man's intentions are similar in that the past, even though the house might be faded, the memories in there are still alive. Next up we have Rat in a Cage by Smashing Pumpkins on 89.7 KEPC.
What kind of music do you usually have here?
Maximum variety.
Hit it.
89.7 KEPC.
The world is a vampire sent to drain secret destroyers. Hold you up to the flames. And what do I get for my pain? Betrayed desires and a piece of a game. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. And someone will say what is lost can never be saved. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. Tell me I'm the only one. Tell me there's no other one. Jesus wasn't on this earth for you. And I still believe that I cannot be saved. And I still believe that I cannot be saved. And I still believe that I cannot be saved. And I still believe that I cannot be saved.
89.7 KEPC. That was Rat in a Cage by the Smashing Pumpkins. Now, that made the list because of a great quote from our buddy Eli. What a kooky character. Let me see it. Quote, "The old man shook his head. I'm past all that now. Have been for years. Where men can't live, God's fare no better. You'll see." End quote. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's a horrible quote to teach your son, right? But I want to go in the opposite direction, right? Because that quote is a quote from a man that has lost all hope in humanity and God, the afterlife. Now, the song lyric was, despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. Some people say what is lost can never be saved. Now, how I interpreted that was, some people have lost their way, but it doesn't matter what your outlook is on the situation. You're still going to be in that situation. So it doesn't matter how angry you are with yourself or the situation or God. You're still in that situation. And that's not a healthy way to process through it. Which, that's a better life lesson for your child than, there's no God and we're all going to die. So there we go. That's why it made the list. Next up is Black Hole Sun by Soundgarden on 89.7 KEPC.
In my eyes, indisposed, in disguises no one knows. Hides the face, lies the snake in the sun. In my disgrace, boiling heat, summer stench. Neath the black, the sky looks dead. Call my name through the cream, and I'll hear you scream again. Black hole sun, won't
89.7 KEPC, that was Black Hole Sun by Soundgarden. Now this one made the list because of a quote in the book. Quote, "He took the boy's hand and he pushed the revolver into it. 'Take it,' he whispered. 'Take it.' The boy was terrified." End quote. Now, this was right after they ran out of the cannibal house and they saw all the victims of the cannibals, and they were hiding in the dry leaves. So, obviously that was horrible. Horrifying. And from this point on, the boy changes. He kind of loses his innocence. And in this song, the chorus is, "Black hole sun, won't you come and wash away the rain." Okay, now the black hole sun is kind of this giant void. In the song, he wants this void to purge him of this memory. Kind of like the situation the man and the boy are in. I feel like the man would just love for him just to forget about the whole thing and to go back to the way things were. But not everything in this world is dark and gloomy. I know the first half has been, but there's also inspiration. And so this next half is kind of the more lighter-hearted, the everything's gonna be all right, there's still hope in the world kind of deal. So to start that whole train off, it's "Let's Groove" by Earth, Wind, and Fire on 89.7 KEPC.
You're listening to
Maximum variety.
What are you talking about?
Killing me, Smalls!
From the Top.
Maximum
Variety.
Station.
89.7 KEPC.
89.7 KEPC, that was Let's Groove by Earth, Wind, and Fire. Now that made the playlist because of this lovely quote. Quote, they sat on the cot with a checkerboard between them, wearing new sweaters and socks and swaddled in new blankets. They hooked up a small gas heater and they drank Coca-Cola out of plastic mugs, end quote. Now the context of this quote was that they were starving to death and then they just found this bunker and it was full of food and supplies and it was a glimpse of hope. It was one of like the real first times where it was like something really amazing happened. They were playing checkers and they were drinking Coca-Cola just like in the beginning of the book together in this new and safe environment. So the lyric from the song was, let's groove tonight, share the spice of life. Even though there's a lot of bad things in the world, there's still the good and you can still enjoy life. So that's why that made the list. Up next, we've got Don't Stop Believing by Journey, because that's a classic, on 89.7 KEPC.
Just a small town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere. Just a city boy, born and raised in South Detroit. He took the midnight train going anywhere. A singer in a smoky room, the smell of wine and cheap perfume. For a smile they can share the night. It goes on and on and on and on. Strangers waiting up and down the boulevard. Their shadows searching in the night. Street
89.7 KEPC, that was Don't Stop Believing by Journey. Now that one made the list because of the quote the boy said, quote, "And we hope that you're safe in heaven with God." He looked up. "Is that okay?" he said. "Yes, I think that's okay." End quote. Now this was when the boy and the man were praying and talking to the boy's mom. He's come a long way from wanting to die in the first part of the book and just see his mom to learning how to survive and to cope with it and to move on. Well, not completely move on, but keep on going. But still have a peace for with him. And with that hope comes, never stopping, keeping going, always trying to keep living, keep on going. And of course, the lyric for that would be in the chorus, don't stop believing, hold on to that feeling. It's a classic, full of classics, this one. Next up, we have I Will Buy You a New Life by Everclear on 89.7 KEPC.
89.7
KEPC.
That I owe you, yes, you can pay the bills. I will give you more when I get paid again. I hate those people who love to tell you money is the root of all the kills. They have never been poor, they have never had the joy of a welfare Christmas. Yeah, oh, I know we will never look back.
89.7 KEPC, that was I Will Buy You a New Life by Everclear. Now this one made the list because of a quote. The man said, quote, he stopped. What happened to your flute? The boy, I threw it away. You threw it away? Yes. Okay. End quote. Now, this one is very interesting to me because the man spent all this time on carving out this flute, which must have taken a long time. I don't know anything about wood carving, but I know that, you don't just make a flute in a couple minutes, It's a long process. And for him to make him in the first place shows him that he loves him and that he wants more for him in the life. But not only that, but to have the boy not completely appreciate the gift and the time it took, and for him just to throw it away, it would make me mad. I'd be mad. But the man wasn't. He was just like, all right, okay, which is some deep level of love that I have never seen before. So if that doesn't prove it, I don't even know. Now the lyrical quote would be the chorus, I will buy you a garden where your flowers can grow. I will buy you a new car that's perfect, shiny, and new. I'll buy you that big house way up in the West Hills. I will buy you a new life. So that's why those two go together. Next up, we have Tears in Heaven by Eric Clapton on 89.7 KEPC. 89.7 KEPC, that was Tears in Heaven by Eric Clapton, which is recognized as the saddest song in the world, for obvious reasons. That song, if you don't know the backstory, Eric Clapton wrote that song after his 4-year-old son died, and he poured out his heart into that song. And you can tell it is heavy. It is heavy. And the quote from the book that ties it together is, "He knelt beside his father, and he held his cold hand and said his name over and over again. He stayed for 3 days." End quote. So the context of that, the man dies, and the boy stays with him, grieving for 3 days. And that is tremendously sad. It's the heaviest part of the entire book, in my opinion. So those two go hand in hand, I think. I don't think there's a better song for that moment. And that's why the man put it in the playlist, because he had that cough, and he knew that he was getting sick, and he could possibly die. So knowing that this might happen, and the boy might live and he might not, he put that in there as like a way to cope, as like a, I know it's sad, and it's okay to be sad right now, so you can listen to this kind of deal. Next up, we have Stop Crying Your Heart Out by Oasis on
89.7
KEPC.
Hold up. Hold up. Don't be scared. You'll never change what's been and gone. May your smile shine on. Don't be scared. Your destiny may keep you on. 'Cause all of the stars have faded away. Just try not to worry. You'll see them someday. Take what you need. I'll be on your way. And stop crying your heart out. Get up.
89.7 KEPC. That was Stop Crying Your Heart Out by Oasis. Now, this one is a bit different from the rest, because up until this point, all the songs have been from the man to the son, but the man is now dead, and this new man has come, and he has taken the boy under his wing in that kind of same fashion. The first lesson we see him teach the boy at the very end is kind of, hey, trust me, step away from your past and come with me. The quote is here, quote, "What? Carrying the fire? Yes. Yes, we are." End quote. That's coming from a back and forth between this stranger we just met and the boy, seeing if he was one of the good guys or not. The lyrics in the song that correspond with this part of the book is, quote, "You don't have to worry, you'll see them someday. Take what you need and be on your way. Stop crying your heart out." End quote. So that lyric kind of ties up this whole altercation between the two. And I guess the first lesson we see this stranger teach the boy. So it's been this nice curve of what have the people in his life taught the boy. Mostly the man, but at the very end, the stranger. And that's it. That's all 10 songs. I'm hoping you enjoyed this. It took a little extra work, rather than just writing. But you know what? I think it came out pretty beautifully. And even though it's a little bit sad here and there, I'm hoping, I captured the good. And I hope you enjoyed. So take care. Have a nice quarantine. This has been Joseph Antonora for 89.7 KEPC.